Welcome back to the Anxiety Hacks podcast.
This is the podcast where we talk about everything to do with mental health and well-being. My name's Liv Redman.
And I'm Gabriela Ramos. In this episode today, we're talking with Cristina Pilo. She's a beauty connoisseur, a mental health coach, and also an entrepreneur.
Today, she shares her journey with mental health and what she's up to now to maintain her well-being. She also shares how she manages her own anxiety and how she's using social media to positively share that.
We are so honored to have her here on the show. I was looking into, I was doing a little bit of digging and I was looking at your accounts and I was like, oh my God, she has to be like a really busy woman. And I was like, we're so happy you agree.
I am actually very, very busy, but I always, I want to make time for everyone that wants to hear this message. That's the whole point of having the account, being able to talk to more people and a broader audience. And we both, me and my husband, we always accept any interview that comes our way, even if it's a huge or a small channel, doesn't matter, as long as you can hear from one person can hear the message and they can change a little bit of their life, then that's all it takes.
That's great. Yeah, us too. Well, in terms of, mental health, it's such a big, interesting topic that isn't spoken about enough. So yeah, we're just really grateful to have you on.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you for the invite.
So we started this podcast because our intention is to sort of, destigmatize the whole topic on mental health. And we've been discussing so far that, people have been very open about going to therapy and talking about their issues, for example, anxiety, depression. And when I was looking at your account, you're very open about that too. I was looking at some tips that you were giving, for example, for anxiety. And I was like very hooked. I got to be honest, I didn't follow your accounts or anything before this interview. I mean, before I knew about you. But once I started looking into, Liv sent me your account, I was like, oh my God, I was hooked. And I was like looking at everything, So I'm just really curious, like what exactly made you start talking about like mental health? Like what was, the catalyst per se to, you went like, okay, I got to start speaking about this on like social media and on a broader, spectrum.
Well, I don't remember one thing to be the catalyst of my like openness on social media. I think it was just a series of things. And I actually started sharing more of my personal life during quarantine. Like a lot of people, I was bored. I had a lot of time in my hands and I just started to tell my story. It was very natural. Before quarantine 2 years ago, I wasn't sharing most of my life on social media. It was mostly my work, my makeup artist work mostly. And then I realized I was not doing any makeup. I was in the middle of a pandemic in my house with my dogs. I have these new projects that I wanted to share with the world. We just launched our app to edit photos and videos. We launched a CBD line and we launched a sex toy line. So I was like, okay, I want to share this with the world. So I need to tell them who I am and why I use these kind of products and what do they do to me. So I just started to share my experience with why I was using my products. And that kind of like opened this whole world of, okay, so here it is me, and I am definitely not perfect, and I am sad sometimes, and I'm happy, and I have a lot of energy, and I am super disorganized. And it was the feedback from my community that made me kind of get hooked into the whole feeling of sharing, because people kept commenting exactly what you're saying, like, wow, you're sharing real. You share when you're sad, when you're not pretty, when you're dirty, when you're, I have a huge story with laundry. I don't know why, like, laundry multiplies in my house. I don't even have kids. I don't know what's happening, but I'm always doing laundry. So people were like, oh, wow, you always share like these little things that we all have to struggle with. And we try to kind of hide it. And it was actually the feedback from the community that made me want to share more and more, because I realized people are normal and they want to see other normal people, and they need a role model of somehow, and seeing that I can do laundry and also have my own business and have a happy marriage and have my dogs, and my house is dirty, it happens. So like catalyst the whole thing, I guess.
Totally. And that makes it's so nice, because I think people really relate as soon as they have someone they can relate to, seeing someone who's, especially with social media, we live in an age where everyone just posts happy things and it makes this filter of life being perfect, but to be using the platform to share that actually you're just another human as well, struggling with, your laundry pile. Someone as simple as I could relate to that, and I appreciate that. So yeah. It's cool.
I'm wondering, you said you have a lot of projects, like you just launched sex toy line, I think you said that, right?
Yeah,
which I'm curious about.
Well, not just, so we launched it during quarantine actually.
Okay, so basically you have a lot of projects, you're an entrepreneur. How do you balance that? Obviously you said you can have everything under control, like your house will be messy, but like when I'm sure there are times where you encounter problems, say with your business or in your personal life with your marriage, like how do you, like what kinds of things do you do to like find that balance? Do you seek therapy, counseling? Do you just follow certain?
Well, I do a lot of things. My main focus right now is inner health, like what I put in my body, and I try to be and I not always succeed, but I try to, everything that I put on my body, it's gonna serve a purpose. So I try to eat healthy, I try to work out, and I try to consume everything that I consume. Almost everything that I consume has a purpose in my life. So if I'm feeling sad, for example, I actually shared on my social media this morning that I woke up a little sad today. And it's a combination of things. One of the things is that yesterday I'm PMSing. Well, that's one thing. And because of I'm PMSing, I ate like 1 million cookies last night. Yeah, they're gluten-free, they're healthy, but it's still a bunch of sugar. And that probably triggered that this morning I'm not feeling great. So instead of staying in bed and feeling sad about myself and like, I don't know, eating more cookies and more sugar, I decided to wake up, have a cup of coffee. I went outside, I had a run outside. I took my sunglasses off so I could feel the sun in my eyes. I actually found some plants that I recovered from the ground, and I brought them to my house. Instead of doing like a super heavy workout, I decided to do more like stretching workout and then take a warm shower before the interview, so I would feel better and more motivated and happy to be here. So what I try to do is always to attack the feelings and try to improve my mood. And therapy is something I've been seeking the last couple of months. I've been thinking about it. I think it's 100% necessary for everyone. It's just a hard step to take. And I'm just about to take it. I'm gonna get there soon.
Well, yeah, I'm happy for you. That's great. And having this attitude towards waking up not in a good mood and combating that with doing something mindful. Like where did you learn about this? I mean, I'm not someone who'd wake up feeling sad and think to go do what you've done this morning. I mean, I wish I had those habits, but where have you learned this from?
Well, I've been in a journey for a few years now of learning about my mental health and my body and my hormones and everything. I actually studied 3 years ago in the Institute of Integrative Nutrition in New York. It's an online school. It's an integrative nutrition school. So you learn about nutrition, but not only what you eat, but everything that you consume. So that's your work, your spirituality, your fitness, and your partner, your friends, and everything that you actually consume. So I've been in this path for a few years now. Then I consume a bunch of podcasts and I clean my social media. And, I've been in this path of understanding that everything that I put on my body is going to affect me. So it's been a few years of that journey.
Cool.
That's so cool. I love how you're very open about how, like, for example, you said something, I woke up today sad and I just shared it with people. A lot of times when people have like a big following, I feel like there's a pressure for looking perfect, and I mean not perfect, but like just overall looking like you're always on top of your game, you're happy. What kind of feedback do you get when you start sharing what you're actually going through? Like, I'm feeling sad, or I'm feeling anxious, or like what kind of feedback do you receive? What do they say?
Well, that's actually the wonderful thing about being open about it, because I mean, I actually closed my social media today and I hid it in a folder so I don't have to go constantly automatically there. But before I did that, for like an hour after I posted that story, I received so many messages of wonderful people saying, "You got this, you're gonna have a wonderful day, just smile, go out in the sun, you know what to do." So instead of feeling that I'm sad, I actually feel better. People lift me up. When my husband came out of the room, the first thing I told him, like, hug me because I'm feeling sad. So he knows I'm having a bad day. So he's gonna give me some feedback. He's gonna treat me better. He's gonna help me out in the kitchen. I mean, if you can tell, and this is something I talk about in my podcast, and we actually preach about this, tell the people around you how you feel. Because if you're having a bad day, today is sad, but you can feel, I don't know, upset or mad or stressed out. And if you don't communicate to people, they might just, make a joke that is going to make you cry or it's going to make you explode. But if you get to your office, your work site, and you say, "Hey guys, I'm sorry, I had a really bad night. I didn't sleep well. I'm having a hard day. So just treat me with love." Most people, I mean, there's always an asshole, but there's most people are going to be nice to you and they're going to help you feel better. So why not use everything that you have around you? And that's why you surround yourself with people that are amazing most of the time, so they can lift you up. So when they feel bad, they will do the same, and you will know how to treat people, like
totally
awareness.
Yeah, that's such a good point you bring up. I that I do myself, like telling people around me how I'm feeling exactly for that reason. They know how to react from that, so long as you've got the good people around,
Exactly.
But I'm wondering, because life is on social media for you, like some things, and you share a lot. Do you find that actually being on the social media impacts your mental health, or do you find a way to manage that? Like, how does this work for you?
It does. It definitely does. And I've learned to minimize that by first cleaning out my social media. If you go through my Instagram, I mean, I don't think you're going to find anyone that makes me upset. Most of the people that I follow are health related, doctors, psychologists, health people, like people that are going to bring me something. Obviously, there's a few fashion websites and traveling and stuff like that. But if I see anyone like complaining or doing something like that is going to make me feel bad, I either mute them or unfollow them. Because it's my happy place. It's a place where I go to consume, and it's a place where I spend a lot of my time, because that's my job. Like my job, part of my job is being on social media and talking to my audience and giving health advice and talking on my DMs and all of that. So if I spend a lot of time there, I want to make sure it's a happy and healthy place. So it does affect my health. And one thing that I try to control is the response. So this like urge of getting likes, for example, or the urge of people saying that I'm pretty or wonderful or whatever, like that's dopamine that we all need. And the thing about dopamine is the more you get, the more you need. So let's say before you needed 10 likes to be happy, the next week you need 15 likes to be happy. And then after that, you need 200 likes to be happy. So it really is something that builds up. You get addicted to dopamine. So that's why I decided to get out of social media today, because I don't want the messages from my community to be the thing that is going to lift me up. I want to put it within myself. So I'm going to be very conscious of what I'm going to eat today to balance my hormones. I'm going to get out of sugar and like super high glycemic carbs. I'm going to drink a lot of water. I'm not going to have my second cup of coffee. I'm going to try to find that peace and that love within myself. And then I can go back on social media and receive all that love, but I'm going to be ready for it. And it's going to come from the inside out and not from the outside in, if that makes any sense.
Definitely. It's amazing.
That's so cool. That's a really good way to look at it, because obviously, I don't know, I just feel like there is this pressure, especially, big influencers, with big followings. There's this pressure for like also get feedback, not only about themselves, but also about the products or services that they're promoting. So your mind sort of gets trained, I imagine, to look at the likes and the comments, because that's sort of also like a form of analytics, so like in a way you have to look at it, but you also want to avoid it. I don't know. I just feel like it's such a complicated task, you know.
Super complicated. You make a post and you have to analyze, like you say, it's analytics. So if it doesn't have enough likes, you have to figure out, okay, was it that it was a bad post? Did I write it wrong? Was it on the wrong time? Is it what I'm wearing? Is it the light? Like, you have to figure out what happened so you can be better. But you also have to realize some things are not under your control. So it's a game, and it's a hard game to play, and it's so easy to get lost into it. And I'm not saying that I have it under control at all. It still affects me, but I'm trying to make it into like, okay, this is my work and I have to analyze it as my job, and not, it has nothing to do with my personality or my success as a person or anything. It's just my job, my brand, and I just have to make it bigger and my audience bigger so they can hear the message and I can share more.
Yeah. Where I'm just really curious, because you launch also a CBD line. I'm just curious if your motivations were sort of linked to, you know, like emotions, or like, for example, anxiety. You know, a lot of people use CBD to help control their pain and anxiety. So I don't know, what kind of motivations did you have behind your line?
Well, before we launch our CBD line, we are cannabis consumer. Me and my husband, we still smoke weed, marijuana, and I personally was used to smoking throughout the day. I used to smoke a joint in the morning with my cup of coffee and go running, and that trickles down to smoking the whole day. Because once you start smoking, you can't stop smoke. I mean, you can, but it's harder. So I realized I was in this state of always being high, but never high, because your tolerance goes higher. So I was like this like state of always high but not really high. It was really weird. I wasn't being very productive with my work, because you get distracted a lot when you're high. So one day someone came to me and presented to me CBD. It's like, hey, try it out. You're gonna like this brand. I want to present this brand to you so you can promote it on your social media, etc. So we started trying CBD, and I realized it gives me all the good things that weed was giving me without giving me the bad things that weed was giving me during the day. I was able to stay calm. I was able to stay productive all day, but I would feel the main thing was that I was able to finish my tasks. Everything that I was doing, I was able to finish it, which I can't do when I'm high, because I leave everything halfway done. Yeah. So I started trying CBD, and I started realizing how much peace was bringing me. And the most amazing thing about CBD is that you don't feel anything. And I remember the first time I tried it, it was like 3 p.m. and it was like, wow, what a productive day I had. I finished everything in my to-do list. I feel great. What's happening? Why did I have such a good day? Did I sleep great last night? Like, I was trying to understand why my day was so good. And that's when I remember, like, oh, wow, wait, I took this thing in the morning. I didn't even realize it, because you don't feel it. You just don't get distracted. You don't get hungry. You don't get bored. You just focus on your task. And when this happened, we talked to the guy that brought us the sample to try it out. And we told him, I don't want to promote your product. I want to have this product. This is amazing. So we talked to him, and we actually partner up with him and his partner. And that's how our CBD line came to life. We decided to bring this brand, like we say, we orangutanize it, and we brought it to our community because it's something that we use almost every day. And now it's been almost 2 years. I mean, it's been 2 years since I tried it. I'm not sure if it's been 2 years since we launched it, but I've been using it for almost 2 years. And I've learned how to use it in my advantage. Like, I don't take it every day anymore. I used to take it every morning and every night. But I've learned other techniques to manage my stress and my anxiety, my hormones especially. So now I'm able to use it when I actually need it. And it's not something that I have to take every day. The good thing about CBD is that it doesn't build up in your system. So it's not like weed that you have to keep smoking more and more and more. With CBD, you can take a tiny little bit forever, and that's going to be enough forever. So I learned how to use it to my advantage. I also learned how to use food to my advantage, and meditation and exercise. So now for me, CBD is just an extra tool that I have that I want to share with the world, but it's not the only thing that I do. And that's really important for me to tell my community, because there's nothing that works that is just one pill. You're not gonna lose weight with a pill. You're not gonna like fix all your problems with one thing. You have to actually use a lot of tools, and little by little you're gonna get to whatever it is that you want to get.
Of course. Yeah. I mean, you seem like you've got this balance sort of under control. You know yourself quite well in terms of how to manage these symptoms and things. So for anxiety, for instance, I struggle a lot with anxiety, and I've never even thought about trying CBD oil. I should try
I was thinking about the same thing. I was like, oh my, holy cow. I think I have the recipe.
It's amazing. Okay. So in terms of, this could seem like a silly question, but I know that you're quite into doing your yoga and meditation and things like this. How does that compare to taking something orally like CBD in comparison to doing the work yourself? I mean, I know that balance it's a key factor at play here, but how does it compare to CBD?
I mean, it's not either or, it's a combination of both. I am a very hyper person. Like I'm like always running and doing two things at the same time. I mean, I don't know how it's in New Zealand, but in Latin America, they have taught me forever that multitasking is amazing, and it's not, because you're not doing anything. You're nowhere. You're supposed to do one thing at a time, finish it, and then the next task. And I'm used to like cooking while I'm studying, and like cleaning while I'm posting, and like all the things at the same time. That means you're not really doing anything at your best. So that is my main struggle right now. And I haven't conquered meditation yet. I can say I have conquered it. It's a really hard task.
Definitely.
I'm getting there. I'm not getting there. I am trying to get there. And it's discipline for me. That's one of the things. And I think that's my main strength in life. Even I don't feel that I'm particularly talented for a lot of things that I do. But one thing that I think I am is discipline. And that has brought me so many good things in life. Like that's how I became a makeup artist. It's not because I am naturally talented. I'm just like, I busted my ass and I really work and I really practice. And that's what I'm trying to, and that's what I did with working out. I hated working out, but I knew it was important. So I decided to do it, and I did it every day until it became a habit. And I'm struggling with meditation now, but I'm confident my discipline is gonna get me there. So I started with I don't know if you've seen my social media. I've been doing headstands, and I'm excited because I'm achieving my goal. Like I'm already able to actually get in a headstand and stay there for a few seconds. And recently, my teacher told me that I need to stay there 2 to 3 minutes every day, which is an eternity for me. Like I'm like, what am I gonna do on my head for 3 minutes? That's so boring. But that's what I have to work on, like patience. So even though I can sit down for 10 minutes and just listen to my breathing, having the difficulty of having to stand in my head for 2-3 minutes and just breathing is helping me achieve that goal. So just trying to find little things that I can grab and that I can improve my meditation with little, how do you call it? Like challenges. So just sitting, maybe it's not for me, but being in my head helps me because I'm engaging my whole body and I feel like I'm working more than just one thing at a time. So, I guess discipline is my main word right now.
Thanks for sharing that. Thank you for your honesty. Like, perhaps the whole multitasking thing that you were talking about before of you cleaning and studying and posting all at the same time or whatever it was. Perhaps that's why your meditation comes from doing a headstand while focusing on your breathing.
Exactly, yes. But
I just keep thinking.
Sorry.
Go ahead. No.
I was saying that I'm confident if I get to spend 3 minutes in my head, that's gonna help me to do it when I'm sitting down. So I'm just progressing, instead of making it harder, I'm making it simple. And for me, it's harder to be simple. So I'm walking backwards, but I hope it works.
I love that. Something that you said resonated with me so much because I'm Peruvian, so I'm a Latina too. And you said like in Latin America, it's like customary to be like always like, I remember like when I was growing up, my grandmother, my aunt, my mom, they were all like, chop chop, you gotta be doing this, don't forget to do this, don't forget to do this, and you have to be like, I don't know if it's cultural, I don't know, or maybe like that's something that we have learned to do. I really don't know what it would be, but I feel like I'm questioning whether that contributed to my anxiety, because I'm always like a person that likes to evaluate things, and like having people to tell you like you have to be like, come on, you have to go this, like at least where where I come from, people always tend to be in a rush as well.
Yes.
Like even though you could be on time, but like, come on, like 15 minutes, you gotta go there, like you gotta catch the taxi, the bus, whatever, so I feel like I just wonder if that sort of contributed to like my anxiety, like,
Probably. I mean, I
yeah.
come from Latin America like you, and now I live in America, which is such a high-paced country. I mean, I guess not everyone in the US, but at least in Miami, it's very fast-paced. And I lived in Spain for a year, and I remember being there, and like, actually a few years ago I went to Madrid to visit my best friend that lives there, and we were just walking. We were not going anywhere. We were just literally walking, and she had to pull me back, and she's like, why are you walking so fast? Where are you going? We have no place to be. And I'm like, I don't know. This is just how I walk. And she's like, okay, but chill. There's no rush. There's nowhere to be. So I remember that day, it was like wow, okay, I need to slow down. And I think it's cultural, because in Spain, they're used to like walking slower, and they take naps in the middle of the day, and they don't work on Sundays, which for me is like insane. Like if you want to go to the store on Sunday, everything's closed. That doesn't happen in America. So I try to, I love like living in this fast-paced culture, but it also makes you like tired. And when you have your own business, it's really hard, because there's no paid vacations, there's no days off. The day that I don't post on my social media means people might forget about me, or the day that I don't sell is a day that I'm not making money. So it really gets you, like you have to be constantly promoting your business, you have to constantly be doing something, but besides that, you also have to clean your house and have, family time and spend time with your loved ones and disconnect. So it's hard. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. I'm happy the way that I'm carrying it, and I still have a long way to go, but it is a hard task to manage. Definitely.
Something that you said, I don't know, this is something that I was thinking about the other day. Liv and I were discussing, how sometimes, for example, our first episode that we did with, our first guest, we were talking, for example, about gut health. And something that kept me like wondering in women, specifically in women, is that I'm starting to see a pattern with women that experience, for example, anxiety and depression, and it's hormones, like hormonal disorder.
Yes,
I have PCOS, and the first thing my doctor told me is like, you have to learn not only to like, first of all, you have to work out. You have to be like this, I mean, not extreme fit girl, but you have to like be fit. You have to work out for your body, eat healthy, and da da da. But on top of that, he mentions hormonal control, like, I have to learn to control my hormones, because that once that goes all over the place, my emotions, my energy, everything goes down like so fast that it will affect my entire week. So I don't know if you guys have seen that, like how like I'm starting to see this pattern that, a lot of us experience also this like hormonal imbalance. Like, would you mind talking about that a little bit?
No, of course not. I'm about to finish next week. I have my test. I'm going to be, I'm doing a specialization on hormonal control through food and lifestyle. So yes, I'm super happy to talk about that, because it has been such a journey the last couple of years since I started like taking care of my body and realizing that some things you just can't control. If you're sad, like I woke up sad this morning and I'm like, okay, there goes my day. I can just stay sad and just not do anything. Or I mean, I can't do anything for today, but I can do something for tomorrow. So learning how to control your hormones and hear your body talk when it's giving you signs, it's key to everything. And PCOS is just an imbalance that you can control, and you can like learn how to navigate this. Like for years, I was taught to believe that my cycle is whatever, and I have to be like a man, and I have to be strong, and I have to go to work, and it doesn't matter the day of the week or the day of the month. I just have to be happy and strong and have a lot of energy and just do everything. And that's it's just not the way it is, because our bodies, biological, are made to procreate. Since we have our first period, the only thing that our body wants to do is have babies. It spends 28 days creating an egg, and then, the egg is not fertilized, and then the body goes through depression. Because literally it gives you like this beautiful egg, please, here, make a baby. You don't make a baby, it's like, fuck, let's throw it away, let's start over. So
I love how you put that.
Me too.
Oh, your body is every month trying to convince you to have a baby. When you're ovulating, your face looks beautiful, your skin gets pretty and shiny, your hair looks beautiful, you want to go out, you feel outgoing and happy and energized. And that's all the signs of your body asking you to get pregnant. And then when you don't get pregnant, it's like, fuck, I gave you beautiful hair, and I gave you all this happiness, and you still didn't, procreate. So if you understand that, like, up and down of the body, and then you can like play it in your favor. And when you're ovulating, and I don't want to have kids, so I'm going against everything my body's telling me to do, and I'm okay with that. Like I'll body, I'm sorry, I know this is what you want to do, but it's not what my mind wants to do. So I just have to navigate these like hormonal fluctuations that are super normal. So once I understood my cycle, and I understood the 4 phases of my cycle, I can adapt to it. So I know when I can work out harder, and I know when I can fast harder, and then I know when I have to give me extra love, which doesn't mean to fill myself with like junk food, which is something we have learned. Like when you're sad, just eat ice cream. If you're PMSing, eat chocolate. Don't do that. It's just gonna make it worse. So,
oh my God, I did that yesterday.
Me too.
Me too. And that's why I woke up feeling like shit this morning. I'm PMSing, so I had a bunch of cookies last night, and it's sugar. Then sugar gives you a sugar rush, and then it gives you a sugar crash. So if you understand your cycles, you have a better chance to, I don't want to say manipulate them, but at least manipulate the situations around you. Like I know I'm not gonna launch a super important project when I'm PMSing. I'm going to try to give that really important speech or that really important post, or I'm going to do a live or something that is really important. I'm going to try to do it during my fertilized days, because those are the days that I'm happy, I'm beautiful, I'm outgoing, etc.
Yeah.
And the days that I'm feeling down and sad, and my hormones are low because I didn't give them a baby, then I'm just going to try to stay home and relax and do self-care and meditate and do yoga, and instead of like doing like super hardcore workouts and stuff like that. So it's not only manage your hormones, but it's also understanding them and give them what they need. So if you're in your period, so eat a little bit more red meat, so your iron goes up and you're feeling better, and that kind of things.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, me too. That's so important, I think, because it's not like you were saying before, how we're kind of taught to just get up and be strong and go to work and be happy all the time, like how men can do that, or not all men, but I've never properly had a good think about that, and I feel like it's not reinforced enough for us.
So we're constantly fighting for equality, which I am.
Yeah.
I'm a feminist. So I want to have equality with men, and I want to have equal pay, and I want to have the same opportunities. But the truth is, our biology is different. They don't have not little, high ups and downs like we have. So it's about understanding where we are, so we can have the same opportunities, the same everything with them, but understanding that we are different people, different species. We're not the same, different species, but you know what I mean? Like we're different. We can't have the
Yeah.
same as they are. So we have to understand that in order to fight a better fight, or fight a more just fight.
I love what you say, because yeah, we're constantly, not only obviously we're clawing our way up, and try to fight for equality, equal pay, equal rights, access to better employment, blah blah blah. But I feel like in a way, because we are like constantly thinking about that, whether it's actively or passively, yeah, I feel like we're also pushing ourselves to be like strong. Like, you got to be strong. Like, I've done that before. I've worked in an environment where perhaps 90% of my coworkers were male. So in order for me to up my game, I had to push myself and be like, all right, today you're PMSing, but I don't give a shit. You have to be like on your game today. And like, I sort of pushed myself to be extra strong, just so that I could match their energy and their efforts, So yeah, I think it resonates so much with what you just said. Like, we have to understand that in order to fight and like have access to better opportunities and everything, like, we also have to like understand ourselves, like our bodies, and like, once we're good and we're in alignment with what we need, like I think we can have a better much, we can be more motivated and actually get the things we want in a much more harmonious way, I think, with our bodies. I don't know.
And we have to learn, and we have to teach them, because first we have to learn, and we have to learn, like, if you see a commercial of like pads and tampons and everything, it's like, and now you can go and run and you can do everything, your period, it doesn't matter. And I'm like, what? No, don't teach them that they have to do all these incredible things while they're in their periods. They probably need love and relaxing and hugs and chill things. So they have taught us constantly that it doesn't matter how your body feels. You can do anything. So we have to first learn how our bodies work, which I just learned like 5 minutes ago, and then we have to teach our surroundings and take out that stigma, because there's a stigma of like women being crazy. Oh, she's PMSing, so she's crazy. I can't talk to her because she's gonna scream. And that makes us like, I'm not gonna scream right now because they're gonna think I'm crazy because my hormones are crazy. But I am.
And we feel embarrassed too.
Yes, it is. So we have to like try to find that like way of explaining to people that yes, my hormones are affecting me, but my feelings are still valid, and maybe we should have this conversation next week. And okay, and that it's like, when I'm PMSing and I'm feeling horrible, sometimes it's not me that realizes it, it's my husband, and he's like, you are not answering the way you usually answer me, so let's just pause this conversation and let's wait for a few days and see how you feel. So we're not talking about new projects. We're not talking about buying new things or anything. It's just like a week of chill and love and self-care. And then in a couple of days when I feel better, okay, let's talk about that big project that you want to do, or what is it that you want to buy, or what is it that we're going to do about this or that. So understanding and loving and acting about it.
Yeah, that sounds like such a beautiful relationship to have, where your man can actually know your body too. That's really special. Yeah.
We try.
I love that. Yeah. Do you think like we are more like, I don't want to start comparing genders, but like, I don't know, do you guys think that women tend to feel more anxiety than men? Because sometimes, I look, and this might not apply to everybody, but I just feel like the circumstances and the challenges that we have to face, and on top of that, deal with our bodies. Like sometimes, I feel jealous, and I told this to my boyfriend, sometimes I'll be like going through like a roller coaster of emotions and things, and and he's just like, good morning, let's go for a ride, I just want to eat this. Like, he's just like, it seems like he just lives a very chill life, and like he doesn't, like, he'll go for a run at night and not worry about his safety, like like things like that. And I'm like, I just envy sometimes your sense of safety and stability. And he's not perfect, he experiences anxiety as well, but like he's learned to like target the feelings, assess, but that's it. Like there's no other factors, other triggers coming at him, you know? And I look at him and I'm like, I wish I was like that, you know, stable sometimes.
Well, I think we are more prone to mood changes because of our hormones. But I don't know if I mean, in this society that we live in, we have so many like things that come in our way. Men also have a lot of pressure to be bigger and more, and to be the man of the house, and to perform, and like they do have their own triggers, and they do have their own things. So I don't know, I coming from a relationship where we both go through like different challenges, I mean, we just have different challenges, that's what I think. And that in the case of men, one thing that I see that is really damaging them is believing that they don't have, for example, they don't have feelings, or they don't have issues because they have it easy, because they're men, especially if there are white men in America, let's say. You know, like,
or keeping it all inside and not expressing
it all
anything.
inside. They're not supposed to go to therapy because that's sissy, or they're not supposed to cry, or they're not supposed to have bad days. They're supposed to just get up and work. So they do have their own problems that are different than ours. I agree. Like I go running every morning with either a taser or a pepper spray, or both, depending on how I'm feeling that day. And Mike just goes running. He can take off his shirt, and it doesn't really matter. But he does has his own insecurities, his own problems that I don't have them because I'm a girl. So yeah, I don't know if they're more or less, but I know our hormones go crazier than theirs, but they still have their own things. So hard to say.
Totally.
I love that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It sort of reinforces what you're saying, that we're humans, but we're different, you know, and it's okay to accept that we go through different experiences. It also I feel like it makes us more empathetic to understand that, you know, like they have their own battles, and I think we are more prone to like, and more open to like share our feelings, but like, yeah, it must be also horrible to have to keep it all in, you know, locked and be like,
feel like
I have to be tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other day I had a guy text me on Instagram saying that he moved to Spain and he's having a hard time finding a job, and it's he has been hiding from his girlfriend that he's been having money issues because he's the man of the house. But now it's unsustainable. He doesn't have money to pay rent, I think he said, and now it's too late to tell her. So he's been carrying this like really hard thing on his back, that he's the man of the house, that he has to provide and everything, and now he thinks it's too late to share that with his partner. And I was trying to explain to him, like, she's your partner, you're not supposed to take care of her, you're supposed to take care of the house together. If you tell her what's happening, she might just quit her job and find a better paying job and support the family while you find a better job, whatever it is. But he had that like strong belief that he's the man of the house, that he was crumbling inside. And instead of talking to her, he decided to talk to me, which I'm another girl. And I'm like, why are you not talking to her? Why are you telling your problem to me instead of her, which is supposed to be your partner and your soulmate and your partner in crime?
Yeah, totally.
It's hard. It's hard for everyone, I think.
Yeah. That's so sad. Yeah. Imagine like having to text somebody else, like a stranger, you know, instead of feeling that safety to talk to your partner about it.
Yeah, that happens a lot, actually. A lot.
Wow.
People don't want to feel vulnerable with their partners, which is crazy. That's the person that sees me in my best and my worst. So I want to share everything with them. But not every relationship works like that, definitely.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Wow.
So wow. Well, look, this is just
I'm sort of speechless.
Yeah, same. In terms of I don't know where to go from there. It's not like it's too sad, but you're exactly right that there is this huge amount of pressure on people to be, you know, feeling like they should be doing certain things or holding back certain things. And I'm wondering, and I'm also hoping, I guess, that, you know, with people being more open about themselves and social media and such, that more people and like him feel like they can go to therapy or talk to their partner about it and not have to hold that to themselves. Yeah. Oh, it's really cool. Anyway,
As a,
yeah.
as a, sorry to interrupt.
No, you're right.
I just wanted to add, I was looking at your account yesterday, and as a coach, like, do you think in the future you could potentially like host like support groups or do any type of like sessions with your followers to see like
Well, I
if
actually have a program now. It's called Evolving, and
Ooh.
I'm on my third group right now. It's a support group for healthy practices. So it's not focused on
Mm,
losing weight, which people do naturally, but it's more focused on doing healthy things every day. So we talk about fasting, we talk about foods that are inflammatory, we talk about like water consumption, working out 10 minutes every day. And like I throw them like tips every morning for things that they can do
yeah.
that day to feel better. Like simple things like don't park close to the supermarket, park like as far as you can. Don't use the elevator, just walk up the stairs and hug someone. Like if you hug someone for 8 minutes, sorry, not 8 minutes, 8 seconds, it's gonna release dopamine. It's gonna make you feel better. You don't have to like eat a piece of chocolate for that. So little things that people can do every day to feel better. So I have that group going on. I'm on my third group right now. I'm gonna take actually a break for the next couple of months for traveling and doing other projects. But I'm gonna come back on June, hopefully with more information and more people, and just trying to share that message of self-love. And I have a lot of moms because moms tend to forget about themselves because it's everything about the kids. And those are my
Yeah.
favorite people, because once they start taking care of themselves, they become better moms, and it's beautiful. They decide to wake up a little earlier to dedicate this hour to themselves because before the kids wake up. And the other day I had a girl tell me like her kid talked to her like, oh wow, mom, you look so much better and you look so much happy now. And it was because she was just taking care of herself before taking care of her kids. So that was one win that I was super happy to hear about it. So yeah, definitely I'm gonna keep going with that. I'm gonna do a new challenge for jump roping, and hopefully keep creating these little challenges for people to like give love to themselves.
Yeah, I love that. It's very
I love
cool.
that. I loved how you like include, moms, because I feel like it's a cycle almost, happy moms sort of raise happy kids, and happy kids grow up to be happy humans and good citizens of the world, and I feel like it's a cycle, like I feel like
if you're in the
wow, I
supermarket
love
and
it.
someone throws the little card to you, they're not mad at you. They probably had a bad day. They probably ate like shit. They probably have a shitty marriage or a shitty job, or they haven't worked out in months. So it has nothing to do with you. So if I can make someone happy that is not gonna yell at someone in traffic, it's not only affecting this person, it's going to affect a bunch of other people that are not going to receive that hate. And hopefully I'm going to receive the love back from someone else. It's like that, that cycle that if you love someone,
The
eventually
domino.
come back to you. So it's a little selfish. You can see it that way. I'm trying to make the better world for myself too.
Yeah, totally.
That's
that's
so
such
wonderful.
a cool, lovely thing
I
to
love
focus
that.
on.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
I love that. I feel like, I'm just so happy to have not found you, because I didn't find you, but, to have met you, because I feel like that's so inspiring. And one thing that I like to do on social media is follow people that are inspiring in some way, like even if they're not like professors or like super big, figures, but like just people in regular, living regular lives that are just like doing things that inspire other people, like today I was just looking at my Instagram this morning, and I followed this girl who literally has like 150 followers, but she was doing like a morning routine, like a live session, and just her charisma was like so contagious. I was like, oh my god, like I actually want to wake up and get up and do like a little bit of this, and like
it's so cool.
I love
it's like
it.
what Cristina was talking about before, like having a healthy social media feed, Like that's really impacting.
Yeah, it's like people say, like, I don't watch scary movies at night because I'm gonna get nightmares. But I spend my whole day on my social media looking at people that are hateful. So
what's the difference?
Coherent with what we're trying to do. If you want to sleep well, then you have a good night routine. If you want to have a good day, so make sure your day doesn't get like filled with like these things that are just throwing at you all the time with hate.
Totally.
Yeah. Awesome. So what are your plans like in the near future? Like, what are you trying to do?
Well, I am writing a book about self-love, which is one of the reasons why I'm stopping evolving for a couple of months, because the group are taking a lot of my time and I want to sit down and write. I also want to become a personal trainer, which is my next, once I finish the hormone course that I should finish next week, I'm going to go into personal training, because I want to be able to give more like complete advice on everything, not only what you eat, but also how to move properly for like people that are like starting the journey. So I want to do that too. And I want to launch easy recipe book, hopefully by the end of the year, with all the recipes I learned throughout my
I love easy recipe books.
And I want to keep traveling. Obviously, Orangutan is our main brand, and we want to keep like appreciating people through what we do, which is photography. And we have a few projects coming out this year with groups and stuff like that. And I'm also working. Well, I'm not working yet, but the plan is to go this year to Iceland, where I'm gonna shoot my first nude book, which I am so excited because I'm super ready to do that.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you so much. I'm trying to explore all the areas of my life, and my sexuality is definitely a really important part of my life that I like. I don't share it a lot because it's private, but I do share that I am exploring it. That's why we have a sex toy line, and that's why I want to do my book. And I also have an OnlyFans page where I explore and share with a different kind of audience that side of me, which I think is healthy. And I think that's all the things that are coming hopefully this year.
That's so exciting. Well, thank you for sharing.
I know, I feel excited.
Yeah, things you're gonna do. And most of all, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us today. I've learned a lot from you. I've definitely had a few key pointers to hear, and I'm really excited to explore a little bit more of my own hormones and how that affects my mental health, because it's definitely not prioritized like when I go to my doctor's visits and things. So thank you so much.
It's been amazing. Thank you so much for your questions. It's been really nice to talk to you. And well, I'm excited to see how this turns out.
All right. See you later, Cristina.
Bye.
Bye. Take care.
You too, guys.